Hey everyone, welcome back to Worship Guitar Theory. This is Nigel. Hope you're doing okay. The self-isolation during COVID-19, it's now past midnight over here, and I think it's usually the best time to record when your wife and kid have gone to bed. So here we go. Today's song we're going to go through My Testimony by Elevation Worship, which is such a joyous praise song, and I think it really carries the joy of the gospel in it. We're going to look at the guitar one parts today, and the gear I'm using is today's Paul Reed Smith 20th anniversary custom 22. Beautiful guitar that I got back in 2006. Don't see too many PRSs in worship at the moment, but I think worship tutorials are bringing it back, and I'm a firm believer that it's going to come back. At the moment I've been playing my telly so much lately that I haven't pulled this out in months and months. And I'm using an HX Stomp today instead of my normal rig. I borrowed it from a friend of mine, but I've done the best I can to replicate what I normally would use in my physical setup, which is a couple of overdrive, Tube Screamer overdrives. I've got a couple of 808s stacked there into a Mezz Boogie head and a 1x12 cab, and then that's running into a Univibe modulation, and then a digital delay. Set it up in stereo this time with a spring reverb, so as close as I can get to my actual amp and pedal rig. Right, so we're gonna jump into a playthrough now. I'll have the chords and the tabs on there for you, so grab your guitars out and happy learning. We'll see you back in a few minutes. so hope you guys found that useful. I want to sort of dive in and talk a bit about the theory behind the part in the chorus for this song. So as we know, in the chorus, a lot of it's driven by a couple of high voicings, chord voicings. So the B power chord, right, to a G sharp minor 7th, and then we've got this little lick here that's kind of responding to each line of the chorus, right? Right, so those are called sixes. They're intervals. So an interval, what's an interval? An interval is basically the pitch difference between any two notes, given notes. So if I were to play, say, a B, because we're in the key B, on the 5th string there and a B on the 6th string, now they're the same pitch, right? Those two notes are the same pitch. So that's what you call a unison or enharmonic notes, meaning they're exactly the same pitch level. Now if I were to play two notes that are adjacent, so in music the distance that we use to measure notes is either half step or a whole step, right? So conveniently on the guitar, a half step or a semitone is 1 fret across. A whole step or a tone will be 2 frets across. So if I were now to play a B to a C, right, that's known as a minor second, right, which is the tune that made Jaws really famous, the Jaws movie series, the shark, for all the people who are a little bit too young to remember. Now if I go 2 frets across or a whole step, that's known as a major second. Right, so another side note, so minor intervals are smaller, major intervals are bigger, which I suppose makes sense. Now if we go 3 frets apart, or 3 semitones apart, B to a D, that's a minor third. So we've gone unison, seconds, now thirds, which is kind of the soul behind a minor chord. So it has that sort of minor sound to it. If I go up another fret, that's known as a major third, which, you know, as a lot of you know, is the sound for a major chord. If I go up to the E, B to E, now that's a perfect fourth, which gives you that sort of suspended fourth feel, right? Now I go all the way up to, that's a nice ugly sound, isn't it? B to an F. That's known as a tritone, right? Because it's actually 3 tones to get there. So I go 1 tone, 2 tone, 3 tones, or 3 full steps, and that gives me a beautiful sound, which you use in diminished chords. In context, it works really well. Now I go up another semitone, get to F sharp. That's known as a perfect fifth, which is kind of a real power chord sound, which is why you see power chords have a number 5 written as a superscript there, so a B fifth or a B power chord. Now here's what we've been waiting for. So we're getting up now to the sixes. So we move up now from B to a G. That's a minor 6, right? And then we go B to a G sharp. That's a major 6, minor 6, major 6, right? So I'll explain that in a bit when we look at the part again. Go up one more half step, that's a minor 7, which you use for like minor 7 chords or dominant 7 chords. And then the next one, major 7th, right? So that's, as you would know, or maybe you would have worked out now, very jazzy, using major 7th chords. And then last but not least, which I'm sure many people are aware of now, is the octave. So I'm playing a B, I made my way up again, back to B again, right? Which we're all familiar with, especially in the worship genre, I'm sure. Alright, so now let's actually look at what's going on in this song in the key of B, right? So we've played the 2 chords, the B, G sharp minor, leading up to this line, 6's line. So we're playing a minor 6 there, right? The G sharp to the E. And then to a major 6, right? So we've got the F sharp to the D sharp. Right, so that's what's going on there. They're 2 6 intervals, which are very pretty sounding intervals, and they're used in all sorts of genres: country, blues, rock, worship, just about, I think, classical. Any genre out there is using. It's a very popular interval because they're so tasty. So in the context and the key of B, you can sort of learn and work this out. Just if you go through the chords and the keys. So in the key of B, we have a B, C sharp minor, D sharp minor, E, F sharp, G sharp minor, and then we got a getting squishy here for my fingers, A sharp diminish, back to a B. I can't really fit my giant fingers in there. So the sixes, the simple rule there, if I'm doing those 4-note chords, it's just to play the third string and the first string of those two, of that chord shape, right? So we've got the minor 6, major 6s, back to minor 6s, right? Major 6s, back to the B, right? So yeah, nice sounds. That's a 6 there as well. Cool. All right. Well, I hope that you found it helpful today, and that you'll be able to apply that knowledge when you're learning sixes in other songs, or just when you want to use them for fun. They're tasty. So God bless you. Enjoy yourselves. Practice hard while you're isolated. If you've got any questions, leave them below. Please subscribe if you can, and share if you think this is going to bless somebody else. Stay safe. Catch you guys later.